And of course, but if you look at what is happening in, for example, in the Southeast, so many persons have said the infrastructural, decay in that part of the country still needs to be attended to. But of course, the president, Buhari, has done, some have said, probably he has done his best in putting the second Niger bridge into place. But how do you think that infrastructure like this can help speak to the people of Southeast, to come into fray of the president-elect as he assumed office?
I think that there was and there is still a lot of infrastructural development in the Southeast during this outgoing administration. What they've done in the Southeast, they've done what the 16 years of PDP was not able to do. They've done a lot in terms of development. However, Southeast, so to speak, is an integral part of the country. I'm so sure that they won't be left out in the development of the country. I'm sure that the president-elect will give them a very high visibility and a very high consideration in infrastructural development. I'm so sure, because he's a pan-Nigerian, he's a man who is at ease with development, and is a man that loves all parts of the country. And I'm sure that they will be given that pride of place in the development of the nation. Thank you.
Yeah, talking about the Southeast, let's look at the viability of that particular part of the country. I look at how economic viable they can be. It looks as if Nigeria has not really tapped into that part of the country, and they need to. Do you think that, looking at the president-elect administration, coming into the administration, would that also be something that it needs to focus on?
I guess that the president will focus on the ability of each region, and I'm sure that the people of Southeast are very industrious, they are very, very innovative, and for whatever, they are very good in industrial revolution. I'm sure that the president-elect will give this, and that is why power is critical, and that he must first tackle the power issue, and looking at the various, either the one that will be generated through the national grid, solar, and what have you. We will look at it because they need power, but also, above all, they also need peace and security. In some parts of the Southeast, development is not encouraging because of the banditry, the what have you, sit at home on Monday, cuts down on the ability of that part of the country to contribute to the GDP and GNP of Nigeria. And I'm so sure, because look at what they're doing in Nigeria. I think that peace, electricity, and I'm sure that they will have their pride of place. I'm sure all the states in the Southeast, as usual, will have their men as ministers, ambassadors, head of MDs in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And I'm sure that they should also be ready, receptive to receiving the developmental projects. I'm sure that they will be treated as other parts of the country. I'm so sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
I also want us to look at, when you talk about some of the security issues that they have in Southeast. You remember the letter that the Anambra governor, Soludo, wrote to the president-elect, and he said that one of the things that will make the Southeast happy is the fact that if Nnamdi Kanu can be released, do you think that that can also persuade the people of Southeast to come into the fray of having a sense of belonging? Because there seems to be like a lacuna in that part of the country where they need to come to the party. Do you think that can also persuade them to do that?
I think everything will be on board, but I think the president-elect will have everything under consideration. I will do what he thinks is the best for the country, and then for all parts of the nation, either south-east, south-west, south-south, or north-east, north-central, to be happy and be part of the national development. And we are no region will be sidelined, will be the primary of primary importance to the president-elect. If the release of Kanu, if it is possible, I'm sure that the president-elect will work with his attorney general and other members of his cabinet to look at it. But most importantly, the region, especially where you have a lot of issues, they must be ready for developmental projects. They must also be ready. There should be peace. Without peace, there cannot be development. Where you put contractors to work and they will be threatened, cannot be so allowed. But I'm sure that they are peace-loving people. They are very, very industrious. You can attest to their sense of duty. And I'm so sure. I'm so sure they only need certain things to get them on the right track. And I'm sure that over the years, they will find out that for when PDP was in government, they were part of it and they've contributed a lot. And they were also in very, very important places. But sometimes you need to not put your eggs in all one basket because you never know. And I'm sure that Buhari, as it were, like you said, second Niger bridge that has taken forever is on board. It's not only second Niger bridge, there are other ancillary roads that were joined to the second Niger bridge. They are being done. There are so many other roads constructed by the federal government. All you need to do is to look at the federal ministries of works and websites and ask how many roads were done in the southeast. I think that, but for Ashwaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu presidency, I'm sure, I know him correctly, he will not, whatever, he will not leave any part of the country to suffer. I'm so sure. I'm not even saying it like this. I say that Nigeria will be one, and then every part of the country will be developed. Southeast cannot be and will not be excluded.
Still talking about security. Of course, the major thing for any serious government is the protection of lives and property of that particular country. And the security level in Nigeria, some will say is nothing to write home about. And looking at all of these things, which is of course a major factor, if any administration, of course, is going to prosper. What are the things that you need to be put in place for us to have, to a reasonable extent, security need to be put in place? How do you think that we need to start putting those things in place? And of course, the president-elect, how those things will form part of his administration's goals?
Like I said, and as provided by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the security of lives and properties is the primary responsibility of government. And in my opening remarks, I did mention that internal and external security is very, very key. We must be protected from external aggressors, from our neighbors. We must have good relationship with our neighbors, be it Republic of Benin, Niger, Cameroon, and what have you, so that they will not be at war with us or allow enemies to come through their border to affect us. We do not have any issue with them as we speak. However, it's a thing that we must continually look at. We must look at how we can handle belligerence, how we can handle armed conflict if the need arises. You prepare, even in time of peace, you prepare for war, so that for you to be able to defend your country. And then coming internally, and that is when I refer to banditry, kidnapping, ISWAP, Boko Haram, and all of you. And that the security architecture of the country must be re-evaluated with a view to providing adequate securities for men and property in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And I believe seriously, And also, you know that even protest is allowed in democracy. However, the way to address and then prevent people from getting injured or during protests must also be looked at, because that speaks to it that Nigeria is a free nation. And also, I guess that when the government is doing what is right, they will fear nothing, and then we can be able to tackle our internal issues adequately and then efficiently. Thank you.